The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.
Hello and welcome, everybody.
All rise.
Well, no.
Now sit down. Now rise again.
Yep.
Now jump. Now hit the deck. Good.
There's your exercise for the day.
That level of obedience shows that you're ready to take part in the very first ever Hamish and Andy board meeting.
We've realised there's a lot of business to get through. There's not enough time in the show each week to get back to people that have emailed at hamishandandy.com. That's primarily what the board meeting's about. Cackling Jack will be taking the minutes.
Yep.
Great, Cackling Jack.
I'll open a Word document to put these into.
Yep. We haven't started yet, so you don't need to write down. I will be taking the minutes.
Right.
And
actually, do that. It might not.
Okay. Do I need to put all those exercises in, like jump and backflip and stuff?
Just say, start of the meeting, exercises complete.
Yeah. It's always nice to have a warm-up before a board meeting. Now we can sit down, we can focus. We've got our boardroom table ham, a few chairs, and people can go to hamishandandy.com to see the boardroom.
Will we do that? Because then it will shatter the illusion of a boardroom. Because aren't we just realistically in a storeroom in front of a costume rack?
Yes. Yes, we are. But
standing next to a shelf full of old binders. And
not important. Not important.
The only other sort of obvious thing in the room is a sombrero. So we're in the sombrero room. We're in a room that was deemed important enough to hold a sombrero and some old costumes.
Haim, basically we'll just go through emails in the boardroom and get business done.
Try and get back to as many people that are emailing us at hamishandandy.com as possible.
We'll try and action a lot of things today.
We'd love to get some things happening from the board meeting, just to get a little bit of, almost like a cushion of business supporting the rest of the show.
And I hope to weave in the terms globalisation and just diversify.
I'd like to say offshore equities.
Yep.
And at some point, paradigm.
Okay, good.
That's a pipe dream. You have to have dreams.
I'd like to start with 11-year-old Charlie Mulligan.
The board recognises Charlie Mulligan.
11 years old, Ham. She said, "Hey guys, love the show. Now, you and I on the show last week, the regular show, accused, accurately, Winter Gordon of being a big thief."
Yes, she stole one of my grandma's erotic poems.
Yes. It's come to my attention, says Charlie Mulligan, that the start of the song Baby by Justin Bieber is exactly the same as the start of the song Far From Over by Frank Stallone.
The lyrics or the actual music?
Well, that's why I've bought in my computer hand.
I was going to say, because we need to action this immediately.
Yeah, okay. Shall we listen to Bieber first? Here we go.
Yeah. What's it doing with it? 4,026 plays in your iTunes? Well, all right. Yep.
See? Bum. Now Frank Stallone.
Yep. So identical. And therefore, we finally cracked the mystery of Bieber. He's just repackaging the only kind of music that ever was music. Instead of junk, Frank Stallone.
Yeah.
It's just repackaged Stallone.
So, Charlie, correct. I'm not sure what the action is out of it.
The action is, Jack, could you just make a little note there? Sue Justin Bieber.
For everything, for every dime he's worth.
On behalf of the Stallone Empire.
Sue JB, Stallone.
Okay, good. Thanks, Jack.
And obviously shred that one.
Shred at the end of each email, we can shred them. Sticking to it. I mean, we do get adults emailing this show too, but the board would like to recognise Claire McMahon.
Claire McMahon.
She's 13. She says, "Hey guys, if you'd like a non-random John, call my number. Give me a heads up though, so I can make sure that I'm going to answer." Now that doesn't help us, Claire, because if you've been listening to the show, we're fine for non-Johns. But thanks for getting involved, Claire.
This one's important. Maddie Lawrence. The board recognises Maddie Lawrence. Hi, Hamish and Andy. I'm starting an online people's movement for a 4-day working week. They're sending a list to Parliament. He's even gone head-to-head with drive time guru Darren Hinch on the matter on 3AW.
Has he?
Yes. And they really need our support.
I like that he's doing it online because that's the laziest way to start a movement, and it's a movement for lazy people who want another holiday.
The thing for me, Ham, is, Maddie, we can't get behind the 4-day working week.
We're way ahead of that.
We're one.
Forget 3-day weekends. We've doubled it. We're on a 6-day weekend. So unfortunately, you're trying to make us do more work.
Yeah. So can you shred that one, please, Zach?
And a quick one here. Okay. The board recognises Laura Tanguay.
Laura Tanguay.
It could be Dora Tanguay. But very quick message. Forget Andy. Cackling Jack for Cleo Bachelor of the Year 2011. What do you say, Jack?
Great call. But aren't the nominees already announced?
Oh, no one said it's going to be an easy race from here. But, I mean, if that's your starting attitude, one of surrender,
Yep.
As your love coach, I wouldn't take you on with that attitude. But if you wanted to make a serious run for it...
Yeah. What, you would coach me as well as Andy?
Well, I've proven I can't get Andy Bachelor of the Year. He's past that. He's not fit enough to go back in that comp. But
Well, if you're
a young kid, you're an exciting player.
Yep.
And got a bit of a track record here, mate. So
Yeah. Play the young players.
Got to coach Andy to the win. What do you reckon?
You didn't coach me to the win.
I've only coached one person in that contest, and they won. So I'm coming off one season, one premiership.
Okay. All right. So let's try and get Jack a gold medal at the Olympics. And
If I choose to coach you.
Don't shred that one. Keep that.
Okay. TBC. Quick other email here, Ando, that follows up on something we were talking about. Something we were talking about on the show last week.
Okay, sure.
We were trying to remember from Sound of Music, there was some sort of song about Maria.
Yes.
And I think we said it's, what do you do with a girl like Maria?
Was it? Didn't we say it was nobody likes a girl called Maria?
Well, I think we were trying to go, you're flabbergasted.
Oh, sorry,
we might have
yeah.
been talking about
Yeah.
Amy, our sponsor.
No, you're right.
And I think we were going, what do you do with a girl like Maria? She's so good. You know, do you put her on a trophy
baffled.
cabinet?
Yeah.
Do you show her to your parents?
In retrospect,
Do you take her around in a ute and pay people $1 to meet her?
it certainly wasn't nobody likes a girl called Maria.
No, but the thing
I'd
is,
like to apologise.
the thing
for
is,
that.
we laugh at that. The board recognises Lucy Hammond. She's written
Lucy
in.
Hammond.
She says, I don't want to seem like a know-it-all. I was listening to the podcast from last week's show.
Yeah.
Mentioned the Maria song from Sound of Music, suggesting it was all about how can you have something so good.
Yeah, we were.
It was, unfortunately for us, we couldn't quite access our internal archives,
Yeah.
but we certainly thought the vibe of the song was Maria's
yeah.
the best. The song is... How do you solve a problem like Maria?
Okay.
So the board
So I was
does
closer.
need to recognise that
Yeah.
Maria is a problem.
Yep.
She's not an enjoyable
Like tinea.
person to meet. She does seem a little bit like a ringworm or a tinea. She's embarrassing to talk about with friends. There are things that you can get at the chemist. So I think because the only reason I bring this up is we sort of aligned her with our sponsor, Amy. I'd now like to distance our sponsor, Amy, from Maria, from the Sound of Music. She's a problem.
She's a problem.
Amy
Amy's
is certainly
not
the
a problem.
opposite
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, shred that
that,
one. Shred any evidence that we ever bagged the sponsor.
Maria never met Amy. Amy politely declined to have coffee with her. They've never met.
Stephanie Griffin, the board recognises
Hello,
Stephanie Griffin. Hey, guys.
Yep.
I bet you never read this. If you could somehow prove it. Maybe.
Shred that.
So
Is that it? Or
So that's it. So I don't know how we can prove this,
We've just
Sam.
done it.
Whether we take a photo of us reading it and send it or put it
you
up.
don't think it's enough to read verbatim her email and that she would,
Right, you are.
she would not think that we'd just guessed the contents of her email?
You're spot on.
The board recognises Mary Vivian Wisdom
Okay.
in all her glorious wisdom.
MVW.
She... Maximum Volkswagen, as I bet no one calls her. I'm from Canada, Canadian podcaster, British Columbia, lovely part of the country. Listening to the podcast, we were talking about where eggs sit in the food pyramid.
Yep.
I grew up being a farmer. I can tell you that eggs are in the meats and proteins section.
Well, Haim, this is good for you to know because you were playing electronic drums throughout that whole segment. And I'm not
I
sure.
barely remember us doing that on the show. She said, at least it is in Canada. And, I'm pretty sure, MVW, that across the world, the
Meats and protein. So is that
pyramid's the same.
So is it because they've added the words and protein that eggs slip something? Because it's certainly not a meat.
Well, the thing is, meat's your biggest source of protein.
Yep.
And so if you want to break it down to carbs, proteins, sugars,
Yep.
fats,
Yep.
all that kind of thing,
Yep.
that's often the way it gets broken up. It is half a chicken. It's the beginnings of a chicken.
Chicken, yep.
And I think that's how it's sneaking in. Someone pointed out as well on email, caviar, where does that go? Because it is fish eggs.
Well, it's seafood.
It goes into the fish column. Because
Yeah.
it's the beginnings of a fish.
That's a good point.
So we've got the building blocks of a chicken here.
Yep.
No one knows which one came first, but since chicken's in the The chicken's got in the pyramid.
Or it's in poultry.
And it's
meats.
happy in its
So
happy in its spot.
Don't separate mother from child. Is that what you're saying?
They'll get angry.
Yes.
It's like you can't have cows in meats and calves in sweets, even if they are sugar-coated. And I enjoy a sugar-coated calf as much as the next guy, but it still belongs in meats, even though it's a great dessert. The thing I like about MVW's email, Ando, is you'll notice on for people that have used the website before, we have the option to attach an image on our email form. She has taken this obligation very seriously and sent us in a picture of 4X. I think that's what I love about MVW, because she's gone, look, if I'm going to email in and they're asking for a picture, it doesn't hurt to email in a picture of what I'm talking about to support my argument.
Can I say MVW, Ham? Most valuable woman.
Yes.
Let's shred that one, even though we love the picture.
And
quick one? Yeah, go for it.
Since this is our first board meeting, and
sorry for not wearing a suit.
That's okay. I feel silly in my three-piece suit, but I suppose that just means I'm the chairperson for this week, and you can have the suit next week. Mm-hmm. Just probably more of a historical email here, because we've been set up to get emails since since the start of the year, really. If memory serves me correct, about 3rd of February. Yeah,
that's the new email system. Hamish and I have used email before then.
I was on Flame Mail, which was sort of a competitor to Hotmail, but could never get it working. This is exciting, Ando. The board recognises Cameron Lee.
Cameron Lee.
Your brother.
My brother.
Who set up our email system, and I thought it'd be nice to recognise the very first email sent to hamishandandy.com.
From Cam?
Yep. It reads, Yo team, this is a message from the contact form of the website, which should be going to everyone. If you could reply and let me know you've got this, it'd be great. Have also attached a picture, so you should be receiving that as well. Cammer. So, great email. Well, nice to look back to the very first email.
Well, I feel that we should have told Cam a few months ago that it's working.
Did nobody reply to that?
I didn't reply to that.
If he downloads this, he'll know that it's working now. My question for you is, Ando, the picture he's selected is very interesting.
Okay.
It appears to be of a girl, maybe mid-20s, blondish, browny hair. It looks like it's overseas. She's sort of on the top of a mountain, maybe picnicking, looking down on sort of it kind of could be the Blue Mountains, or it could be somewhere like in Rio, and he's pixelated out her eyes. Who is that? Who do you think that is? What's he doing with... It looks like she's a kidnapping victim.
Now, as Hamish described that then, I thought it was going to be something lewd, but
it's just a girl in a normal sweater on a picnic. He's pixelated out her eyes, like she's in the Witness Protection Program.
Yeah, but
what's your brother doing with pictures of people in the Witness Protection Program?
I don't know.
What's his real name? He doesn't look anything like you. Is he in the Witness Protection Program?
We often have people staying downstairs.
You're not allowed to look at their eyes.
Yeah.
They walk around with black gaffer tape over their eyes.
Yeah, but I hadn't put two and two together.
Do you recognise the build of that young lady?
No.
Is she a missing person?
Well, if she's sending Cam photos of herself.
Is Cam involved in some sort of where in the world is Carmina Sandiego?
Carmina Sandiego's eyes. With her eyes
bizarre mystery. Can we get onto that for the next board meeting?
Yeah, action that one.
Action that, Jack. Yep. Find out why Cam has a picture in his iPhone of a girl with pixelated eyes.
Can I say it is a lewd Friday forward style picture?
Is it?
Yeah, because the shadow on her knee made it look like something's coming out.
Yeah. That's why he's got it. I was just sort of mesmerised with her eyes, but it does look like she's sort of well endowed.
Yeah,
that's why it's sticking out the bottom.
So he's probably pixelated her face just to keep her innocence. But
I now know that he does not know this man lady.
Can we shred that one?
We can shred that. Mystery solved. Cam has not been kidnapping young ladies. He instead has a penchant for anonymous women that have supposed male genitals sneaking out the bottom of their skirt. Jack, well done, because that passed through two sets of eyes before it got to you, and you immediately went, oh, there's a knob. Your eyes were insanely attuned to knob finding.
Well, maybe Cam's housing ladyboys. It's
don't know.
Finished, but you're right. Probably just a funny
That
thought.
was amazing. And look, side note, if you ever have a picture and you think there's a knob in it and you can't find it, email it in, because Jack will be on that literally within seconds.
All right. Back to a bit of decorum in the boardroom. Ainsley Mills.
The board recognises Ainsley Mills.
She's originally from Sydney, Ham.
Yep.
Doing a gap year in London.
Lovely. Good
Yeah.
luck. Pulling some pints.
You and I never
shining some shoes.
You and I never got to do one of those.
Sweeping the old chimney.
Yes.
Doing a gap year in Dickensian London.
Since she's had a lot of free time,
Yep.
she started to learn playing the guitar.
Good.
Problem is
pastime.
that the guitar's falling apart. She does remember from 6 years ago that Hamish has a classical guitar that Andy gave him as a present one year.
Yep.
Hamish never uses it. It's what she's assuming.
Occasionally. Learnt one Ben Harper song.
Apart from one failed busking attempt 4 years ago.
If memory serves correctly, didn't we beat Jet in that busk off?
No, we lost.
That was
we lost
you're talking
significant-
about a different busking event. Yeah, when you and I busked against each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough, yep.
So, Hamish, can I have the guitar from Ainsley?
Yeah, not a worry, Ainsley. It's definitely at my house and is not smashed. So that's good news. I can safely say, without a shadow of a lie, that at no point during the 2009 Grand Final after party at my house did that guitar get smashed. So, yes, sir. Expect it. Keep an eye on the letterbox and have a great gap here.
So you've smashed a present.
No, did you not hear me? I specifically said it's not smashed and gave you the date on when it was definitely not smashed.
And if that arrives to her in bits and pieces, that's just
Bloody
that's
Royal
shipping
Mail,
straight home.
clumsy Royal Mail, Prince William and the Royal Mail. Stop focusing on the wedding and deliver my guitar intact.
Okay, well, that's shredded. Sorry about that, Ainsley.
Sorry about that, Ainsley, but yeah, I was sort of hoping to keep that a bit of a secret from Ando for a few more
Ever.
years. How close are we to the end? How are we doing for time, Jack? We don't
We've
wanna
been running for 16 minutes and 55
We
seconds.
don't want to waste everyone's time
Oh,
at
no,
this
we
board
should.
meeting. We've got to sort of hammer through these.
Let's just go a couple more, mate. Then we've got to get to mullets for money's for mates.
We do have to get to... Well, this is a mullet.
Related one.
For
Or do we want to
mullets
hit
for
this one
money's for
first
mates.
then and then segue off?
Well, this is one of the most astounding emails we've ever got.
This is amazing.
The board recognises Young Jang. Now, Young, you are a male. You are a young male. But we're not here to...
Well, not necessarily,
we're not-
but he didn't submit age.
No,
he
no,
could be
just-
1,000.
We're not here to
Unlikely.
dissect you. This is not a David Attenborough special. You've sent in something quite amazing to us. You've sent in a vending machine that you have at your work. His message reads, "Today we got a hot chips machine at work." I'll read that again. Today we got a hot chips machine.
At work.
A machine that makes hot chips.
Awesome.
A machine that if you put money in it and you press a button, it will make for you hot chips, which you can eat. And if you want more, you just put more money in, it'll make them again.
Yeah, until it's run out.
Just letting that sink in for everyone. Initial thought was, we've never heard Hamish mention one. Didn't know about them. Do you guys have a hot chips machine at work? Obviously not, otherwise we'd never come on air.
Yeah.
And if not, what are you doing to rectify the situation? Now, before we get carried away...
He's attached a picture.
He's attached a picture. We examined the machine, Ando.
We're worried.
The huge alarm bells that are ringing here. The huge problem is it could be a hoax. It could be some sort of cruel, stupid hoax.
In which case,
Like Godzilla.
Yep, just a cruel.
Hang on a sec. That's just a toy being held close to the lens.
Yeah.
We're not under attack at all.
And
But worse than that.
it is worse than that. And if it turns out that Young's lying, now maybe that's why I didn't leave his address. His name.
He's left his mobile number.
Yeah.
Which you're more of a chance to find someone from their number than their age. If you go to the
True.
cops and you go, "I've got his phone number and his address." Do you know how old he is? I can't tell you that. No, we'll never find him, mate. But the problem is, you look at this machine. It's sort of like your standard vending machine. It has one giant hole at the bottom. It just says hot chips on the top. It's not a brand or anything, but there's no exhaust.
Now
That's the biggest problem.
I'm trying to be positive, and I'm trying to keep this.
This
positive.
is me being positive. Wait till I get negative.
Okay. I was thinking it's up against a window, so maybe there's exhaust going out the back.
No, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't. You'd have to cut the window. You have to cut a hole in the window.
But maybe there is a small hole that goes.
Why
out
are we seeing no steam in the window? Why?
Because it's internal. The fan goes straight out. You wouldn't just exhaust fan into the room.
Well, you have to get it out of you've got to get it out of that room.
Outside.
You've got to get it out of that building. But normally the exhaust comes out the top. Now we can see the top of the machine. There's nothing coming out the top of the machine.
It's true. You're
not going to suck the exhaust back down to the bottom of the machine.
One thing I'm worried about is I assume, when I was trying to calculate how this might work, reverse engineer it, I assume that there is a freezer section with the chips in there. And from that freezer section, it drops into another section where there's boiling hot lard, which is just beautiful. That goes about frying the chips.
Yep.
And then from there, it would have to pick those chips up, drain them, and somehow put them into a paper cup.
Already it sounds like it's the kind of thing we don't have the technology for in this day and age.
No.
It seems a little bit futuristic.
Well, the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids could probably put it together.
I'll tell you what.
Wallace or Gromit could
tell you what.
Which one is Gromit? Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, I don't think they know either.
Okay.
They switch.
Those claymation guys that have a lot of contraptions, they could probably do it.
They can't stand anywhere near burning oil. They'd melt.
You're right. But I feel like...
Do you know what, Ando? Looking at it now, I think I've figured it out. See the section on the side here that's a different colour? That's almost like a curtain.
So you reckon it's been taped on?
I think someone... A midget just walks in the machine, stands there all day with a thing of hot chips, waits till $1 drops in and hands you out a bucket of hot chips. Get them in the morning, they're hot. Get them in the night, they're pretty cold. I reckon there's just a guy that gets in that machine and stands there.
Well, you're right.
Does that not look like a curtain on the side?
It does. And you're absolutely right, because if they did have boiling hot fat or oil inside and people were trying to shake the machine like kids do, you'd just get a face full of oil.
Yeah. The only way that would be an advantage is if you walked up wearing a suit made of unfried hash browns, and then if the machine tipped on you, you just laughed and went, "Thanks very much, you've cooked my suit."
So hoax?
I've got to put it down to a hoax.
Are we going to say hoax? Should we give it to Jack? He's good with photos.
Let's say hoax, and anyone listening, can you please send in evidence that such a machine does exist? Because at the moment we're too cautious to get excited about this.
Yep.
What do you think, Jack?
Well, from first sights, there's no penis in this photo.
Look harder. You'll find one. Well, then we've run out your area of expertise.
All right. Well, I'm suspicious about it, but I reckon let's not shred this straight away. Let's hold on to it and see if Yang is
Hang on, guys.
listening.
This machine says hot penises.
If he's listening, maybe he could give us more information and maybe some different shots.
Let's just put it down as tentatively excited for the concept of a hot chip vending machine.
But appropriately cautious of Yang and his tricks.
Oh, you certainly haven't fooled us yet. and if this is a hoax, officially in this first ever board meeting, young Jang, but will be the name forever known as trickster, like a Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, we've been young Janged again.
We've been janged.
All right, mullets. Quickly,
Mullets for money's for mates. We are running out of time. Sorry about this, everyone, but we've got a lot of requests here. This one comes in from Canada, Ando, another Canadian podcaster. The board recognises Melinda Byrne. Her brother wants to grab the mullet. Yep. I've made that up. She might not even have a brother. I must have just read a B word. I'm skimming. It's a long email.
This is not a great end to this.
She's having a party, right? She's having an 80s party. It's going to be mullets, rat tails, unique fashion choices. She wants to take the mullet. Mm-hmm. She'd even let us choose the outfit for the evening. Then there's a whole section entitled Safety of the Mullet. She says, in full disclosure, there's going to be a lot of booze. She said, look, I was thinking I do 1 or 2 cans of beer, then I put the mullet back into a box and send it home with Dave the cab driver to put back in my house, so it's not going to be there for shenanigans.
Does she know Dave?
It sounds like it's a pretty small town in Canada, because you wouldn't go Dave the cab driver. You wouldn't go, if your name's not Dave, I'm not sending it home with you.
I mean, you don't have armor guard guys just, with $10 million in a briefcase, giving it to Dave the cab driver and say, can you make sure you whack that in the bank for us?
He sounds honest.
Yeah, I know, but it's still so valuable that you wouldn't just, here's the crown jewels. Dave,
I appreciate you falling them out to a fancy dress party. I don't know why you wore the crown jewels to your 80s party, but it was bloody impressive to see them close up and give them to Dave the cab driver. So you, based on no character...
I don't have a character reference for Dave.
There should almost be a rule that as soon as you've hired the mullet, it's got to stay with that person the whole way through. Like, we had this test in high school that you had to hold a baby, just so that you wouldn't go out and have babies straight away, and you had to be with the baby.
I don't think that was the reason.
Yeah, like did you guys have that where they gave you a baby?
We had
look after?
fake babies.
Yeah, fake baby.
We had a whole bunch of sad mums turning up when we didn't look after your babies properly.
So you had to look after the fake baby for 24 hours, and you couldn't let it out of the sight.
It was to see, to show people the importance of a kid and so on.
I think it
was-
is meant to annoy the hell out of you, isn't it? So it's like a birth control thing.
I think it's just so you don't get a baby on a whim.
Yeah.
You know how you get those?
But to discourage
promiscuous activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, are you saying that we should send over some sort of mullet substitute, like a porcupine or something, to make them look after it?
No, I'm just saying the mullet shouldn't leave somebody's sight.
So you just go, listen, if you're going to get a mullet, understand it's a commitment.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong commitment. You can't just have a mullet on a whim.
So send a baby mullet version, test mullet.
I'm not sure how relevant your story
No,
was.
Make them wear a baby on their
all
head.
I was trying to say about holding
Strap
the baby
a live
for 24
baby
hours
to your head.
was the mullet's got to stay with the hirer for 24 hours.
You could have used any story for that.
Well, the baby had to stay with us for 24 hours.
Except for the kids who figured out you could strap it to your head and just wear it as a helmet.
Nobody strapped the baby to their head.
Or then you went to a school full of
non-figures.
non-lateral figures.
I did put the baby in my bag at one stage.
Unfortunately, James' baby's got mould on it from a salami sandwich that was lying next to its head.
But again, you didn't go and have any babies on a whim, so the job
It's
was
worked.
done.
Oh, I don't know.
24
You
hour.
keep bringing in that bag every day. What's in that?
All right. For mullets, for money's for mates. And for people who don't know what this is, maybe it's the first time they've called us on a board meeting.
True. Well, I mean,
It's not a regular show, but...
wouldn't you think if you're listening to a board meeting, you might have heard some of the regular show? It's possible they haven't, though.
They've subscribed to the podcast this week.
It's just like reading a company report, but you have no idea what the company does.
Yeah.
You could have Googled board meeting podcast and just
You've
got
got to have a lot of business aficionados going, oh, this would be great to see inside a real board meeting.
It's where we shaved off your mullet, Ham, in one singular piece, put it... strapped it to, tacked it down perfectly to a skull cap, and it can be worn as an astonisher, not a fascinator.
And astonish your friends, astonish your family.
Yeah. I feel like we've got the girl. 40-year-old.
Yep.
School teacher. Trisha Duke is her name.
Board recognises you, Trisha Duke.
Hey, guys. Year 4 teacher at a private boys' school in Sydney.
Great.
We have some fairly formal functions coming up.
Can imagine.
To meet and get to know the parents, parent-teacher interviews, that kind of thing.
We've been too busy giving all our students babies.
Just thought it'd be good for a laugh.
Just the mullet.
Yeah, so she thought she'll wear it upon meeting her students' parents for the first time. What better way to have a great impression?
Yep.
I mean,
Any person.
Parents will go, teach my kid for life.
Any person
Come
that's
home
worried
and
about it, the husband will come home from parent teacher and the wife will go, did you meet her? Did you? What was the teacher like? We're a bit worried about her. They'll be like, oh, it's fine. You have a look at this photo on my iPhone. And the wife will go, yeah, she does look amazing. But she seems really smart.
So are we happy to try and get it to Trisha?
I'd love to give it out for a kids' parent-teacher night.
I'd love to.
Are you going to let the kids wear it? Because until they've done the baby course, they can't be trusted with the mullet.
Well, we'll action that one then, Jack. That one, hold on to that.
So she's got it.
Hold on to that.
I reckon
She's got it.
Yep.
She's got it. All right, we'll get in touch with her. And that's the next place the mullet's going out for. Price-wise, what are we thinking?
Well, I reckon we negotiate that on the phone.
All right, we'll let people know next week how much we're
we'll
going to
let her
do
know that at the moment, the regular price is $250.
Yeah, that's where the market's at.
The market's at $250.
Not surprising to see that in the photo she's attached of herself, she's wearing a hat because she's ashamed of her real hair.
Of course. Yeah. Or she's just showing us that the playing field for the mullet's been kept warm.
Yeah.
She's warming up her head for the mullet.
Or she's showing us that she
Wear things.
has the ability of wearing things.
She has a head that suits wearability. And she also looks like she's training a couple of young mullet wearers there too. They're both wearing hats too. Nothing to do with being sun smart, even though that piece is at the beach. I assume it's all more for mullet suitability.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I think that's all we have to get through today.
Board meeting adjourned. Anything else to add, Jack?
That's it.
Well, if you've
Do you guys
adjourned
need
the
a
board
copy?
meeting, you can't ask him after the
I
fact.
knew he'd have nothing. Board meeting adjourned, but as a formality, Jack, any business?
None as usual.
All right, let's get these suits off, guys.
Oh, God, let's go play some racquetball and then check the NASDAQ, yeah?
Yeah.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.